over a couple of examples, and then we're going to get into the actual assignment. And what we still have to cover is really not that bad. It really isn't bad at all, okay? If I was to give you something such as this, okay? If I was to give you, if I give you this, and I'm going to show you the long way of doing this, and the long way is not very long, but the short way is super short, okay? If I asked you, this is no different than what we've been doing, except for now we got x's in there. You still do it the same way, okay? If I asked you for the fourth root of x to the 12th, here's the long way of doing it. I'm going to rewrite it, okay? And if I rewrote it, it would be x to what power? It would be the 4/12 or 12/4?
12/4.
Why 12/4?
Because the 4 is on the outside, so it goes on the bottom.
That's how you remember it? The way I remember it is I wrote 4 first, so I rewrite it, 4 is going to be last. Now, who's right? My way or your way? Same thing. I don't care how you remember it, okay? So it's going to be x to the 12/4. And that's not wrong, but what is 12/4? 3. That simplifies just to x to the third. That's the long way of doing it, okay? I'm going to do about 2 more examples, and hopefully someone's going to say, here's how you do it, Kale. And if you got it right now, great. What if I asked you for the cube root of x to the, let's do x to the 12th. Well, that would be x to the 12 over 3, which is x to the 4th, okay? Don't say it, but does anybody think they know the shortcut already? Just by looking at it?
Divided by 3. 12 divided by 4.
Yeah. How many times 4 going to 12? 3. How many times 3 going to 12? 4. That's all you do. So if I asked you for the fifth root of x to the 50th, it'd be x to the what? 10th.
50 divided by 5.
Okay? All right, they get a little bit harder than that, but not much. Okay, so let's actually dive into the problems here. Okay? That's all you're doing is you're dividing it out. Okay? All right, so what are we on? 49. Number 49, we have what? The fourth root of 81. Okay, this is a little bit tougher. Let's say fourth root of 81. Fourth root of 81 y to the fourth. Okay, that's a 4. Okay, so here's what I would suggest you do. Okay, I would ignore the variable at first. I would just ignore it. If I ask you for the fourth root of 81, be careful, it's not 9. That's the square root of 81. What's the fourth root of 81? This one I think you should know by now. And if not, you can always look at your little list of numbers. One number times itself, 4 times gives you 81. Come on, don't be shy, you guys know this. 3. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 81 is also the fourth number on the list of, or the third number on the list of fourths. So 3, I told you to ignore the variable. Now look at the variable, okay? And if we do that, we cover that up. What's the fourth root of y to the fourth? Y to the what? 1, which is just y. 3y. You're done.
What?
Can you do that again?
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I wrote this down wrong. Sorry. I wrote the problem down wrong. There's an 8 right there. So it's not y to the first. It's y to the what? Second. What's that?
How do you know?
How'd you get 3 y to the second?
Okay. We did. Just ignore the y. Don't even look at it. What is the fourth root of 81? 3. So I wrote down 3. I simply wrote a 3 down, okay? Now let's actually, now that we've done that, now ignore the 81. Okay, and then how many times 4 going to 8? 2. So y to the second.
Oh, so you just dropped the y down?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, if I asked you this, if I simply asked you this right here, the fourth root of y to the 8, it'd be y to the second. Just y to the second. Okay? I just broke it up into like 2 parts, is all I did. I looked at the number first, then I looked at the variable. Okay? And the reason why the fourth root of this mess is this, because 3y squared, I'm going to write this out, you don't need to write this, but 3y squared times 3y squared times 3y squared times 3y squared is 81 y to the 8th. Okay? That's all it is. Let's try the next one, 51. Okay, this looks harder. It's not. 5. The fifth root of what? M10N5. Okay, well, it's a fraction. Doesn't matter. Nothing's changed, okay? What's the fifth root of m to the 10th? M to the second? How come, where did that 2 come from? 10 by 5, or you could say 5 goes into 10 twice, same thing. And what's the fifth root of n to the fifth?
1. So n.
N to the 1. Where? Where am I going to put that n to the 1?
Um,
On the bottom. You know why I put it on the bottom? Because that's where it's at. Okay? And you could put n1. The computer might not like that though. I would just put n. So m squared over n.
So you just divide the x
Mhm.
and whatever by the 5.
Yep. Yep.
That's easy.
Yep. 51. Okay, 58. Next one, the next one on the assignment is 57. We're skipping that one for you guys to do. Let's look at number 58. 58 looks a little bit tougher. A little bit tougher, but we'll be all right. 58, so we have cube root of 125. 125 something. RST 497. RST 497. Oops. 497, I think I said. RST 497. RST 497. Okay, so let's just take this real slow. This one's a little different, but that's okay. All right. We cover up all these variables. The cube root of 125. What's the cube root of 25? Very good. He's doing exactly what I was wondering about. He's looking at the very back of his cover because he's a good boy. He wrote down what I told you to write down on the back of it. He knows right where to find them. What's the cube root of 125? 5. Why? 5 times 5 times 5. Or because 125 was the fifth number on the list of cubes. Okay? So all we did is we covered up all these variables. Okay? So it's 5. Okay, we just write down 5. Okay? Now, how many times does 3 go into 4?
Ones
But
with a remainder.
there's 1 left over. So here's what you do. You pull out r to the 1. Because it goes in. Now don't forget about the remainder. We'll deal with that in a minute, okay? Now, how many times, let's deal with the s's. How many times is 3 going to 9? 3 with no remainders. So I put down s, 3. And let's deal with the t's. How many times is 3 going to 7? 2 with 1 left over. So I'm going to pull out t to the 2. Now, that 125 is gone. It's gone. Remember, when you're simplifying radicals, you're trying to pull stuff out of the as much stuff out of the radical as you can. This 125 is gone. Where'd that 125 go? 5. Okay? You guys said that 3 went in there once, but there's 1 left over. So you know what you do? You leave 1 in there. It didn't get out. Okay? How many s's are we going to put in here?
0.
None. We pull them all out. 3 goes into 9. 3 times, none left over. Now the t's, though, you said 3 goes into 7 twice. There's still 1 left over, so stick 1 in there. Now the computer may not like this answer. Part of this, I'm going to erase part of it. I'm going to get rid of this r in the first right here. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is the wrong answer. It's close. It's really close, but I made an important mistake. What did I leave off there? Look, the cube root. You got to make sure you put the cube root. Otherwise, it's the square root. Okay?
Can you show us how to do that in the computer? Because remember how yesterday you said that?
I'll tell you once you start doing that. 'Cause if you ask me right now, I don't know. I have to actually look at the screen because I don't know.
That's understandable. I just know there's a lot of them that, like, I don't know how to put in.
You got the answer. You just don't know how to type it in.
Yeah.
There's gonna be time. I'm almost done here. Just if you don't know how to type it in, ask me or somebody else. I don't care. But yeah, 'cause I'm not sure. To be honest with you right now. Yes, ma'am.
There's an option on there where I can type in like a cube root and.
Right. Is there like a?
Yeah.
Is there one that's this button and then there's another one that's this button?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
No, but
Okay.
it's not
Yeah,
just
I think
that, like, I remember when I tried to put one in and it would keep like the line going and that would make it wrong, like over the other numbers and
Okay.
I don't know how to stop.
You just
the
had
line.
to, so what you do is you go and type all the ones before that. And then
Okay. Okay, so that's just a square root. Yes, that's it. That'd be a square root. That'd be like something other than square
all
root.
the ones after it, and then you go back to the very front and then type it.
Yeah, a lot of times if you want to put something outside of it, what I was doing was sometimes use a space bar and it'll move it over. Sometimes if it's a fraction, I move it to the bottom and go back to the top and then it moves it over for you. So just if you have, these are good questions. They're not math questions, okay? They're clerical questions. If you have questions when you're doing it, just ask, okay? We'll figure it out. It's not, I want you to get a good grade, but it's not important that you know how to type it in. I mean, are you going to be typing them in on test? No. Okay, so I mean, what I'm getting at is this. If you don't know how to type it in, just ask. We'll figure it out, okay? 58, okay, the next one, the assignment 65, I'm gonna skip that one. I'll let you guys do. So 66, two more I'm gonna do with you guys, 66. Okay, 66 we have. Oh, you'll like this one, 11, radical 2z.
You say that, but.
Oh, no, you'll like this one.
You say that, but it makes me feel like I'm not gonna like it.
You'll like it. I'm sure you will.
Being very tested today.
Okay, it's simply 11 radical 2z minus 5 radical 2z.
Oh, that's easy.
What is it?
11 minus 5.
Which is what?
6.
6 what? Radical 2z. 11 minus, that's all you're doing is 11 minus 5.
What? Oh, that's simple.
That's what I said. Some of these are really, really easy. Okay. Last one I'm going to do with you guys. 68. Okay. Okay, 7 cube root. 7 cube root of m to the 7th. This one looks like a tougher one. Plus 3 m to the 7 thirds. Okay, so we have the 7 cube root of m to the 7th plus 3 m to the 7 thirds. This one looks tougher, but if you remember a main concept that I taught you guys at the very beginning of this section, I said, this entire chapter, I said, if you struggle with something, do something, it will help you out. If you remember that, this one turns into a super, what?
Rewrite it.
Okay, now this one has a radical and this one doesn't. So either write on this one with a radical or write that one without it. I really don't care, okay? Now, I will tell you this to save you a little bit of time. The answers don't have radicals in them, okay? They don't have radicals in them. So, which of these do you think I should change? Should I change the first one or the second one?
The first one.
First one, okay? So we have 7. What's the way of saying the cube root of m to the 7th? M to the what? 7 thirds. Does this look easier now? 7 m to the 7 thirds plus 3 m to the 7 thirds.
7 plus 2.
10 m to the 7 thirds. Could we have written it with a radical? Sure. We didn't though, because when you look, I'm looking at the choices right here, they didn't have radical in there, okay? There's nothing wrong with writing with a radical. They just didn't. Okay, questions on this? Okay, you got the, what's that?
To simplify that? Or no?
Well, what do you mean by simplify?
Like, see if that building is on
Gotta be careful. I'm glad you asked that question. You gotta be careful. What is to the 7 third powers here? What's to the 7 thirds power here?
Oh, M?
Only m, just m. And you can't simplify m to the 7 thirds because m's just is a variable. We don't know what the value is. Okay, so that doesn't simplify. Okay, you have the whole hour to work on. This is not an easy section, guys. If you don't just blow this off and it's gonna be a free hour. No, okay, work on this, get help, because I mean tomorrow we're starting right off with the new section tomorrow, okay? And this is due on tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Okay, so you have the rest of the hour to work on these. Okay, let's get at it.